Hey everyone, welcome to our live chat. I'm Heather, I'm Director of Education here at Luminess. And guys, we are here each and every day for you so you learn more about Luminess and what we have to offer. So let's get started. I was trying to think, I did do the concealer 2 days ago, and so I'm going to change it up and do the traditional concealer because I know somebody wanted to see that as well. So I can do regular these airbrush concealer tomorrow. So I'm still going to leave it out. I just did it yesterday or a couple days ago. So let's go ahead. I'm going to use Buff. And the one thing about our concealer, guys, is it stays. It does. It does. So let's, I'm getting my little blender out and we are going to get started. Now, because I'm going to get the airbrush eyeshadows, I'm going to go ahead and do my eyes and foundation, and then we're going to airbrush the eyeshadow. So I'm going to go in, just go ahead and put on my little headband. Oh, beautiful. Okay. So now we're going to go in. And I'm going to use Buff. Now I like Buff because of it kind of acts as a color corrector because it has that peach pinky undertone. I didn't get the picture of your puppy. Angel says you can or can't use so this concealer does not work well with our Velvet Veil. Velvet Veil is going to work best with anything airbrush. Velvet Veil doesn't allow movement, and so our concealers don't allow movement, and so it just works better if you airbrush over it. So I wouldn't wear the Velvet Veil. Now I will say if you use Velvet Veil and you airbrush, because I can get really good coverage with this airbrush concealer and then airbrush foundation. I get plenty of coverage, but I can use regular makeup on top of that. So that's something you can do. Like I can do the contouring. I can do, all of that. It's just anything that's cream base or liquid, things like that it doesn't allow a lot of movement. Okay. All right. So now I'm going in here and notice how our concealer, guys, it sticks. So I'm using this as a base for my eyeshadow as well, because if you have eyelids that sweat or glisten, or you're even oily, this is going to be amazing. Okay, so I'm going to go in. And I'm going to, like I said, it does not allow a lot of movement. So now I'm going in and I'm going to do it underneath. If I wanted something to put underneath, I can do like snap back or something like that. All right, so now I can go in and do that again, working really quickly. Now I do have a little bit of boosted and a little bit of foundation on. All right, so now I'm going to blend this in. And notice, like, I'm not pulling. I don't want to pull on my face. I don't want to pull underneath my eyes. Okay. What you do with your eyebrow. So my eyebrows are with the Duo, this one, our pencil. And it has the angle side, and you can fill that in. All right, now you can already tell a difference between. So our concealers, guys, it is amazing. They give you a lot of coverage. Hey, Elijah. All right, now I'm going in here and doing this side. And then again, if you want to go in and do some contour and highlighting, you can definitely do that with our concealers. They're great for that. But again, you need to make sure that you are just doing a section at a time and not putting it all. When I drew all over my face and to show you the contour and highlighting, it was not easy to get off. So once this is set, it does set. How are you, Elijah? All right, so I'm blending that. Again, just blending it with a blender, tapping that out. Okay. There we go. Boom. All right, now I can go right on top of that and do the airbrushing. So I'm going to go in. Now, if you wanted to use Velvet Veil, if I just put the concealer under here, and there are other areas that I wanted to do Velvet Veil, put Velvet Veil, I could at this point. So if I wanted to put it in my T-zone to help with anything that's going to be shiny, things like that, I could definitely do that. All right. So now I'm going to shake up my shade 3. Turn on my system. Now, as soon as you turn on your system, there's air that comes out. And so the great thing about that, guys, is you'll know exactly where the makeup's going to go. So if you had the makeup in here, you wanted to put it on a piece of paper and like barely pull back, you'll see how much makeup will be released in the area. That's one way that you can do it. So I'm going to just start at my forehead, work myself around. And notice, like, guys, I'm not racing. I'm not hurrying up. I'm not doing all this. I'm just going to keep going, making my passes. Dawn loves a racer. Oh, yay, Tammy. And I'm going to keep going around. Now, it's also about making passes. Hey, Patricia. It's also about making passes. So if I have something I need to cover, I don't want to go and just sit there and cover that. I want to keep making those passes. Elijah, you got the icon? I love the icon. That's our newest system. And it's so cute, and it's small and compact. Go on my nose. Again, making oh, Tammy, what was your comment, honey? I'm sorry. There's a lot of people commenting. I couldn't see it. Oh, Tammy, the makeup seems really wet and wipes off easily. Is that what you're saying when you do it? So if that's the case, honey, you're pulling back too far on the trigger. It should not be wet. This is dry. This is dry. Yeah, Elijah, I'm ignoring that one, by the way. This is dry. So it's not going to feel wet. You're just pulling back too far. Just barely pull back. When you're watching me, you should actually question whether or not I'm even spraying. But you should just see that my face gets flawless. And so if it is wet, just pull back less on the trigger, because it really should dry immediately. All right, so we keep going. Keep making my passes. So looking in the mirror, I have the coverage that I want. I can even, I don't have to go up as much because I got plenty of coverage here. I just have to blend that in. So your stylist blends everything for you. So I can go in and still make passes here. But that's the great thing about airbrush makeup is it doesn't have to be full coverage everywhere. I can just go in, cover what I need to cover, and bam, I'm done. And it will blend for you as long as you're doing it correctly. But it should, ears. So Elijah, yes, you could definitely airbrush the ears, obviously down the neck. For some reason, like when I tan this part, like right here, never tans for some reason. And so I call it the 8th grade line. So you don't want to, the demarcation line here, no good. You want to make sure that you do blend this down. Okay, Tammy says, it seems like when I pull back barely, nothing is coming out. And I ended up cleaning the stylish really well, but I haven't used it again. Yeah, Tammy, honey, hold on, let's stop and talk about this real quick. Because of the fact we have to retrain our brains into thinking Luminess or thinking airbrush. So it's not going to go on how you expect it to. What I would do is if you're questioning, so you'll feel the air when you're holding this and it's turned on and you feel the air. When you pull back on that trigger, you should feel a little coolness, just a little bit, not wet, but just a little bit of coolness. And if you question whether or not it's coming out, hold it up to the mirror and then you'll see, and then pull back just a little bit and you'll see it come out. You'll see it hit the mirror. So that way you'll mentally know that it is working, okay? Cindy says, I've started doing my brows first. Eraser, or, easier if I need to correct them. So true. So true. Hey, Patel. All right, so I'm turning this back on. Let's go. Should I do my eyebrows before? So Tammy, I do my eyebrows first. A lot of people don't. Eyebrows frame the face. And so I do go in and do my eyebrows first, and then I airbrush. Because notice, like, it's not getting on there. And if it does get a little bit on there, you can always fix it. It's up to you, and it depends on how intense you do your eyebrows. If you're just filling them in a little bit, then you're fine. All right. Okay, I'm going to finish. I didn't even use all the foundation that I put in there. But again, if you're doing your thing, remember you can stop at whatever coverage that you want. So whether you want like a beat face and you want to go in and contour and highlight maybe with traditional makeup first and then airbrush over that, you can do that. The airbrush will blend everything together. You can also airbrush contour and highlight, which is something I love to do. Now, I do it a lot of times where I'll do that first. Actually, I'll go in and contour first. I'll even put some shimmer on, all that, and then I airbrush my foundation on over it because it helps blend everything together. But guys, every single time I'm on here, you hear me say, practice. Practice. You have to practice. You have to, you're not going to get it the very first time. It does take some getting used to. And if you think about that, guys, you weren't an expert the very first time you did traditional makeup. I was talking to a friend and she's like, oh, I look like a hot mess the very first time I did traditional makeup. And that's so true. Some, some have moms that taught them how to do the makeup. Some didn't. I mean, and some were just not makeup people and now they're airbrushing. So just remember, don't think, oh, I can't do this if you don't get it right the very first time. It takes some getting used to. Plus the fact everybody's different. Everyone likes a different look. That's the wonderful thing about makeup. It's your interpretation. So it's what makes you feel good, makes you feel pretty, and what you like. Now, if you do look like a hot mess, hopefully you have friends that will tell you that. But for the most part, it is amazing makeup. And the fact that it stays on for so long and doesn't look heavy or cakey is amazing, but it can give you full coverage. I can't, let's see. Yeah, clean it is a must. Oop, moisturizer, primer, and style it. I put the moisturizer primer in the stylist and attempted to spray, but it wasn't coming out. Not sure it's dirty. So make sure the moisturizer primer, it is a little bit of a different consistency, but it is colorless. So you can pull it back a little bit heavier on that. Linda, the extra stylish should be under accessories. You should be able to type in stylist and it would come up. Kathy says, can't get the dark circle to cover. Can't get the dark circles and dark veins to cover. Kathy, try the peach color corrector or even our concealers. That's going to give you a little more coverage, and then you can airbrush over that. But remember to take your time. You want to make those passes. You don't want to cover it all at once. You have the Temp 2 system, and so the Temp 2 is a different formula, whereas our formula is amazing for everyday use. But I'm glad you jumped over to Luminess. So yeah, Kathy, just remember, you'll make your pass, keep going, make your pass, keep going. You might want to try our concealers. Those are things. Let's see. Let's see. Michelle says, I ordered the machine about 3 weeks ago. Knew how to use the airbrush because I use the airbrush used to airbrush cakes. I thought it was easy to learn. And so at first I was up in the air. I don't like change. But at this point, I love my airbrush makeup. And I was thinking about getting the airbrush eyeshadows next. Mascara about rocks. Oh, good. Okay, good. Awesome, Michelle. That's awesome. So I'm actually going to do airbrush eyeshadow in the 3 o'clock hour. So Michelle, please come back and I will show you that. Michelle was saying that she was a little nervous because we don't like change, but she actually used to airbrush cakes. And so Michelle's going to pick up a little bit faster because she's already used to airbrushing. Oh, Tammy, that we might be out of stock. I know that we were waiting on some, so I'll have to see. Elijah said, wait a few minutes before doing next. So Elijah, when you're spraying this, you're spraying so lightly that you should not have to wait. So if you saw me, I'm like going around. By the time I go back around, it should be dry. But just know that you'll get to that point. If it's not happening right now, if it does feel a little wet, that's okay. You can wait a few minutes, but know that after some time when you're airbrushing, you'll get to the point where you'll find that sweet spot of where to pull back on that trigger, where it's not too much and it's not going to be sticky feeling or wet feeling. Oh, airbrush nail art. Yeah. Okay. Gosh, guys, y'all had some amazing questions today. They were popping up everywhere and I couldn't read them fast enough. So yay, I like that. So I'm going to go try to find the purple eyeshadow duo that we have. And so I'll make sure to try to do that. Let me put some lips on. Oh, you know what I should put on? Hello, Lion King. I'm gonna put on Lion King. And I will put on Pounds because I love it. So in the 3 o'clock, I'm going to do airbrush eyeshadow, lashes. The brows will look, it'll all come together. We've had comments on my brows. Well, the brows will come together. And I'm going to contour and highlight. What else? So yeah, we'll contour, highlight. I will airbrush the eyeshadows, do lashes, and we'll go from there. All right. Hoodie on hat. I know, isn't it great? Musette said she loves the fact we have so many consultants, and I do too. I love that y'all pop on here. All right. Thank you, Lynn. All right, guys, I will see you back here at 3 for eyes and some definition. Actually, you know what I want to do, kind of? Hold on. I'm going to use Pounce. Here's Pounce right here. Because I'll do contouring at the 3. And I just rubbed it on my hand. And now this is what we talked about, not, thinking outside the box. And I'm using the lip Pounce as my blush. So I can have some color. Do a little bit on my eyes too. All right, there we go. Bam. All right, guys. I will see you back here at 3. Have a wonderful lunch, and we'll get it finished. All right. All right, guys. I'll see you very soon. Bye.